Apple is about to do something with the iPhone 18 Pro Max that they have not done in years. And it is not the camera. It is not the chip. It is something that most buyers researching right now are completely skipping over. It could be the single biggest reason to either upgrade immediately or wait longer than you planned. Here is what we know right now. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to launch in September 2025, carrying a starting price of approximately $1,299 for the base storage configuration. That is a meaningful number, because at that price point, you're not just buying a phone. You're making a long-term investment in a device you will likely carry for the next 3 to 4 years. And whether that investment makes sense depends entirely on what is actually changing this cycle. So let us get into it, starting with the one change that nobody is talking about enough. Apple is widely reported to be moving the iPhone 18 Pro Max to a periscope telephoto camera system with improved variable zoom architecture. But here is what makes this different from the standard zoom upgrades we have seen before. Early supply chain reports suggest Apple is pairing this with a new computational photography engine built directly into the A19 Pro chip, meaning the zoom quality improvement is not just optical. It is algorithmic at a hardware level. That combination has never existed in any iPhone before. For creators and professionals who shoot at distance, events, sports, wildlife, street photography, this is not a marginal upgrade. This is a fundamental shift in what a smartphone camera can deliver. But that is not the biggest change. Let us talk about the display, because this is where things get very interesting. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to feature a next-generation OLED panel with peak brightness pushing toward 3000 nits, significantly higher than the already exceptional display on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. In real-world terms, this means outdoor visibility on the brightest summer days will be dramatically improved. If you have ever struggled to read your iPhone screen in direct sunlight, Apple appears to be solving that problem definitively this cycle. The display is also rumored to support a refined, always-on experience with lower power draw than the current generation, which connects directly to what many buyers care about most right now: battery life. Most people upgrading from an iPhone 14 Pro Max or iPhone 15 Pro Max are reporting that battery performance is their number one frustration. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to address this with a combination of a larger physical battery cell and improved efficiency from the A19 Pro chip built on TSMC's second-generation 3nm process. What does that actually mean in practice? Early analyst estimates suggest the iPhone 18 Pro Max could deliver somewhere between 15 and 20% better real-world battery life compared to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. For someone working a full day without access to a charger, that gap is the difference between making a home and not. And this is the part that almost nobody is talking about. Apple is expected to introduce faster wired charging support on the iPhone 18 Pro Max, potentially reaching 45 watts compared to the current 27 watts on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. In real-world terms, a 45-watt charge could refill the battery from 20% to 80% in approximately 35 minutes. The current generation takes closer to 55 minutes for the same range. That single change alone adds meaningful value for professionals and frequent travelers who live off quick charges between meetings. Now, let us talk about what buyers are actually up against in this price bracket. At $1,299, the iPhone 18 Pro Max competes directly with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, which currently starts at $1,299 and delivers exceptional Android flagship performance with its own AI-powered camera system. The Google Pixel 9 Pro XL sits at $1,099 and offers arguably the best computational photography on any smartphone right now. Both are legitimate alternatives, and both deserve honest consideration before you spend this kind of money. Here is where the iPhone 18 Pro Max earns its premium over those competitors. The Apple ecosystem advantage is not just a talking point. If you already own a Mac, an iPad, AirPods, or an Apple Watch, the long-term ownership value of staying inside that ecosystem is measurable. Handoff, continuity camera AI, AirDrop, iMessage, and the seamless integration between devices represent a workflow benefit that Samsung and Google cannot fully replicate. For professionals and creators already invested in Apple hardware, the iPhone 18 Pro Max is not just a phone purchase. It is an ecosystem investment. Most buyers comparing spec sheets are completely missing this detail. The A19 Pro chip is expected to deliver roughly 20 to 25% better CPU performance and 30% better GPU performance over the A18 Pro. In real-world creator workflow terms, editing 4K ProRes video directly on your iPhone, running real-time AI editing tools, processing computational photography at high burst rates. This performance gap will be visible and meaningful, not just in benchmark numbers, in actual time saved daily. For gamers, the GPU improvement is equally significant. Apple's Metal API, combined with a 30% GPU uplift, means console-quality mobile gaming experiences that the current generation simply cannot match. Titles already optimized for Apple Silicon will see measurable frame rate improvements without sacrificing thermal stability. And thermal performance is something worth discussing separately. Apple is expected to continue refining its vapor chamber thermal architecture in the iPhone 18 Pro Max. Early reports suggest sustained performance under heavy load will be noticeably more stable than the iPhone 16 Pro Max, meaning the performance you see in benchmark tests will be much closer to what you get during extended gaming sessions or long video exports. That gap between peak and sustained performance has historically been a weakness. Apple appears to be closing it. Now, here is who should actually buy this, and here is who should wait. If you're currently using an iPhone 14 Pro Max or anything older, the iPhone 18 Pro Max represents one of the most compelling upgrade investments in the iPhone's recent history. You are looking at a minimum of 3 generations of chip improvement, a fundamentally better camera system, dramatically faster charging, and a display that outclasses anything in your hand right now. The upgrade math is straightforward. At roughly $1,299, spread across 4 years of premium daily use, you're looking at under $90 per month for a device that handles your photography, your professional workflow, your communication, and your entertainment. For a power user or professional, that is an easy decision. If you're on an iPhone 15 Pro Max, the honest advice is more nuanced. The camera improvements are real. The battery gains are real. But the core experience, speed, display quality, premium build, is already excellent on the 15 Pro Max unless the telephoto camera upgrade or faster charging specifically solves a daily frustration you're experiencing right now. Waiting until the iPhone 19 cycle to upgrade is a financially smarter decision. If you're on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, there is no compelling reason to upgrade this cycle. The A19 Pro over the A18 Pro is an incremental gain for your use case. Wait, casual users who need a reliable, long-lasting smartphone and are coming from a 2 or 3-year-old device. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is arguably the best long-term investment in Apple's lineup. The combination of performance headroom, expected 6 or more years of software support, and premium build quality means you buy it once and do not think about it again for years. That long-term value proposition is genuinely difficult to match at any price point in the current market. For creators specifically, if your work involves any form of mobile video production, photography, or content creation, the iPhone 18 Pro Max is shaping up to be the most capable mobile creative tool Apple has ever shipped. The camera hardware combined with A19 Pro computational photography and a ProRes video workflow makes a real case as a professional investment, not just a consumer electronics purchase. The bottom line is this. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is not a maintenance upgrade. It is a genuine generational leap, particularly for buyers coming from 2 or more cycles back. The price is significant. But the long-term ownership value, the ecosystem investment, and the performance headroom all support that price when you look at the full picture honestly. Before you make your final decision, though, there's one more detail about the iPhone 18 Pro Max that just surfaced specifically around the new AI-powered features APPL. He is planning to ship with iOS 19. That changes the long-term value calculation in a way that deserves its own breakdown. We are covering that in full detail next.